Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2024 with the Dorking Wanderers save. Now, when we were last here, we were sorting out the squad and the players to go into their respective positions, and we started off with the goalkeepers, which if you remember here, we had the two seniors at the top of the ratings, going down to the under 18s, and the player out on loan doesn't need to go in any of those squads. So we carried on and we done the left defenders. We had 7 here and 1 doesn't make the team. This is Wes Jackson, but because he is an under 18, he'll just fit into that squad because he can't be loaned out because he's only 16. But everybody else in the squad there, the highest ratings, 329 for Bobby Joe Taylor, still isn't good enough for the squad because we need to be on 350 plus. And we have 3 players that are being paid too much, so we need to look to offload them. But you can see down in the right-hand corner here, we have a green background here telling us that we have £184 to spend if we need anybody else for that position on wages. Moving into the central defenders, obviously we need 2 in position here, so we have more players than we most probably need, but these 2 at the bottom are out on loan, so they don't fit in any of these squads. And our top 4 points are between 342 and 311, but again, we need 350 plus for a player to be good at this level. A lot of these players in mauve over this side need to be moved on, so we will look at doing that. But we still have £499 to spend on wages for players for that position. Then we'll move into the right defenders. Bit short-staffed here, but the 2 that we do have again are being paid well in excess of what they deserve to be. But we do have 2 players here at 351 and 344. So to be around 350, we're okay with these 2 at the moment, but we have a few spaces to fill in. Then on the left midfielders, as you can see here, we've got quite a few. We have 1 out on loan, so he won't fit in the squad at all because he'll be out for the whole season. We have 1 player too many, which is Billy Austin, but again, he's a 16-year-old, so he'll just fit straight into the under 18s. We won't be able to loan him out or sell him on. Now, the loan here, if we go down into the corner, is £120 that Dorking are getting in for this player. So that will add to the wage budget, which means we still have 424 in credit to spend on players for this position. And again, the players that we do have at the top here are in orange, which tells us they're an accomplished in that position. And the points 307 and 303 respectively for those 2. But the top one possibly could make a League 2 player in time. So we don't really want to get rid of him, but we do need players of 350 or around that number. Moving into the central midfielders, again we have 4 natural midfielders here, all senior players, from 363 to 356, 351 and 350. So as we've only got 1 that's collecting too much wages, we pretty much are okay here. But we don't have any under 21 players and we're very light on the under 18. So if we can get any cheapies there that could possibly break into League 2, then we'll get them. At the moment, we have 3 players of Jack Jebb, Jack Saunders and Ollie Allen that are being loaned out, which gives us a combination of £270 in from those 3 loans. But we have an extra senior player here that cannot play because he's not good enough to get into that top 4. This is Luke Moore of 343 points. So as you can see there, we will at some point list him or loan him out, and he is getting too much in wages, and we are behind in the wage figure in the bottom corner. We are losing £571, so we really need to get this guy out to recoup some of that loss. Moving into the right midfielders now. Again, we have a few here, but we did have 4 senior players. There's only room for 2 because we can't play the seniors in the under-21s or the under-18s, so we will need to move these on. So Matt Briggs and Jimmy Mewett will be listed along with the other one I just showed you there, Luke Moore from the central midfield. These 2 players were on too much wages anyway, and if you look down in the corner again in the bottom right, we are 396 over budget. So trying to sell these 2 or loaning them out will bring that figure down. And the last one that we're going to see is strikers. And the top 4 strikers are all senior players, but they only range between 334 points and 337, and nobody has any potential. So the 5th senior player has to be listed, which will be Alfie Rutherford, but at the moment he's injured. But again, we are over budget here of £141, so to get rid of that 600 would be good for us to spend on other players. So what we're going to do now, we're going back into Football Manager, and we're going to filter every player that we've got at the moment, which is 56 players, and we're going to put all of these into the senior squad. So there you can see we've got 56 players, and we're going to move everybody to the senior squad. So now we've done that, we go to the filter and we filter off the under-21s and the under-18. So everybody should be here. And just to show you, take the senior squad away and everyone's gone. Right, so we go back to the goalkeepers. We will put Mohamed Adel and Robert Owen into the under-18s because we have our 2 players for the senior. We do not need to move them. So Adel, development, and then come down to, you see, move to the under-18 squad, and he will disappear. Then we want to find Robert Owen. So Robert Owen also goes down to the under-18s. And the lone player that's out at the moment, Josh Wilson, is not needed for the senior squad. So Josh Wilson, we move to the under-21s. And that is the goalkeepers completely done. Now we'll move on to the left defenders. Again, we will use Bobby Joe Taylor and Callum Kennedy for the 2 senior squad. And even though we've got this guy on loan, he actually isn't very good. So Joe Rabbits and Alex Lancashire will both go into the under-21 squad, so we'll do that. And there's Joe. Move him down to the under-21s. And also Alex Lancashire, he's going as well. We'll put him in the under-21s. Right, that's that done. And now coming down to the under-18s, we're going to put Robert Henderson into there. That's him gone. Then we're going to move Graham Burns. And that's him gone to the under-18s. And we've got one player over at the bottom, which, as I said, can't be loaned out. So Wes Jackson will also go to the under-18 squad. Okay, and that's him done as well. Moving across now to the central defenders. The top four we have Tony Craig, Dan Gallagher, Joe Cook and Isaac Philpott will all stay where they are. And the first one to be moved down will be the under-21 player, Spike Stegall, who will go to the under-21 squad. There we go. That's him moved. Moving down, we have two under-18 players, Michael Sinclair and Ty Myrna. So we'll move Michael Sinclair, under-18s. And Ty Myrna will also go down to there as well. So that's him done. But also at the bottom here we have two players out on loan. The first one being Archie Proctor. So we move him to the under-21 squad. And the bottom one there, Cameron Black, will also go to the under-21 squad. There we go, that's done as well. So that's up to the DCs we've done now. We're on to the DR. As I said, we was a little bit short in this position, but we've got George Frankham and Barry Fuller. These are our two senior players. And the only other one we've got is Barry Slaven, and he will drop into the under-18s. There he goes. All right, that's all the defenders now completed. Now we're going to start with the midfielders. On the left-hand side, we've got Matt Everett and Seb Bowerman. These are our two top players in that position. So the next two under this that will drop into the under-18s will be Iodanis Polytopoulos. Sure, I've murdered that, but let's get him down to the under-18 squad. Yeah, that's him gone. And the next player will be Matters Borbelly. Okay. And that's him in the under-18. Also, we do have another player at the bottom here that doesn't fit, and that was Billy Austin. He will also go down to the under-18s. And the other player we got there, which is Javon Dyer, he's out on loan, so all the loans get moved to the under-21 squad. And that's him gone as well. Right, moving along now to the central midfielders. We have four of those at the top. so we don't need to touch these. They're Charlie Carter, Dan Pybus, Aaron Cool, and Josh Taylor. The two underneath will drop to the under 18s. This is Tamindu Worgan. That's the first one that's going to move. He's come to the under 18s. And we have Tyrrell Dugdale. He's moved as well to the under 18s. And in the bottom lot here, we have 3 players that need to move to the under 21s because these are all out on loan. We're going to start with Jack Jebb. Move to the under 21s. Because you actually can appreciate when we look at the senior squad, we don't need to see all these players because we won't be able to use them at any point. And then Jack Saunders has moved to the under 21s. And the last one, Ollie Allen. Let's move to the under 21s. Right, now, just for a bit of a difference here, we do have a player, Luke Moore, that we need to list because he won't be good enough to play in the senior squad. So we'll go on to Luke Moore. Now when we bring him up, the first thing we need to do is go on to transfer status. Loan status, we're going to put available. I will at first put 100% wages. People can bid us down on that, but we'll see what we can get for him. So we go confirm. But also, we're going to put transfer listed. We're not going to put a price in here. We're going to see if we get anything for him at all. And that's all you need to do. Then development and move him to the under 21 squad. And that's Luke Moore listed now for loan or sale. Then we'll move into the right midfielders. Tom Blair and Niall McManus are our top 2, so we'll leave them where they are for now. And the 2 from the under 18s, including Aaron Wilkinson, that could be a half decent player here, he will go down to the under 18s. Right, we've moved him. And the other player to go down there will be Luke Hackett. And that's him to the under 18s. And we have 2 players over that cannot physically fit in the senior squad because these are senior players and their points are not good enough. So the first one we're going to move is Matt Briggs. Into transfer again, status, available for loan at 100%, and transfer listed. And as you can see there is somebody interested in Northampton at the moment, but again, we won't put an asking price. And that's that, and now we're going to move him to the under 21s as well. And the last player here, Jimmy Mewett. So we've got him into a transfer status. Loan status, we will make him available. Again at 100% of his wages. And transfer status, we will put him transfer listed. and that's it. And then development, move him to the under-21 squad. And now we're going to move into the final category now of strikers. Our top 4 are there for you. That's Ryan Sager, Harry Ottaway, Jason Pryor and James McShane. The first one we're going to move is Callum Backhurst from the under-21s. So again, development under-21 squad, that's him in there. Then moving down, we have 4 that are under 18. First one we'll be moving here is Blake Maguire. That's him return to the under 18s. Colin Edge, under 18. Ashley Courtney. That's him removed. And the last one will be Paul Walker. And that's him gone as well to the under 18s. And the one player we've got left is Alfie Rutherford. And this is another player that we need to be listed. So transfer status, loan status available 100%. Don't think he's going to go because I still think he's out for 3 months with an injury. And transfer status, we'll transfer list him, leave the asking price blank, confirm, and move him to the under 21s. So that is our team sorted at this stage. Now, out of 56 players, we should have 22 players left in our first team. So that's right, that's 22 players. So that's how many we've got left in the senior squad. Then we'll come out of the senior squad, we'll click on the under 21s. And again, you can see in the under 21s that we've got the ones in mauve or purple that have been loaned to other clubs. And the one in blue is one that we've received from a loan from another club for the season. And that's about it there. And of course, the under 18s will be full of near enough every player there. All right, and they're all there. So let's go back to the senior squad, leave them up. And what we'll do for now is just save the game as Dorking Wanderers 1. And that's the whole of the players done. Take that long to save the game normally. We're only at the start of the game. Right, we'll come back to that in just a moment. Now, the next thing we need to do is change the players from that have only got accomplished positions or competent positions. We need to get them trained up to a natural status. So all the goalkeepers are in green and there isn't a problem with that. All these DLs are playing natural, except for the bottom one, Wes Jackson. But at the moment, we're looking to out him, so it won't be worth us doing that. We just want to really retrain the players in the senior squad. We'll look up the top there. Everyone plays a DC. And the ones there play DR natural. And ML they don't. So what we need to do in our first team here is go on to Matt Everett, because he plays ML but only accomplished. So what we need to do there is get him training to become natural in that position. So Matt Everett into development and training. We need to go into the player here for ML as a winger and support, because we're playing a 4-4-2. So now he will begin to train in that position. So out of Matt Everett, and the next one we're going to have a look at now is Seb Bowerman. Seb Bowerman's pretty much the same as Matt Everett. So we'll go in development and training. And as you can see there, ML, winger, support. All right, and that's him done as well. Then we move into the MC. Everyone there is natural. The MR, Tom Blair's natural, but Niall McManus isn't. Niall McManus is playing accomplished. So we'll go down to Niall. And again, development training. MR this time as a winger and support. I'm moving on to our last one now, which is strikers, and all of these are natural in that position. So just going back over it all just to make sure that everything's done. Yep, we're okay on the goalkeepers and the defence left. We're okay on the central defenders. Yep, the DRs are okay. The MLs, the MC, the MRs, and the STs. So that is everybody done so far on the game. We've now got our squad of 22, or the top 22 players in our top senior squad. When we come out of that and click on the under 21s, you can see this is also as it should be. We've got the players in there that will be listed and loaned, and we've also got the under 21 players, which there's a couple of them. Also, we've dropped the loan players down to here because we don't need to see them for the season. And this one we've loaned in, we're going to leave him there as well. And just to double check, in the under 18s, everyone who is under 18 basically is in that squad. So that's done. So what I'm going to do now for the last thing is back to the senior squad. Now what we have to do with these, we have to make sure that we read what these are here. This one says loan listed. We need to take that away from Matt Everett. So into transfer status. He is not available for loan, so we need to click the unavailable for loan button. So what we've got to do in the whole of this squad is to make sure that none of these players can be loaned out. So the loan status there, I'm trying to group it all together, hopefully it will work. Right, and that should now, 22 players should be unavailable for a loan. So I'm just going to click on someone at random, transfer status, unavailable for loan. Yeah, so that's all 22 players. We don't want anybody coming in for one of them players until we get some transfers in where we can let one of them go. So that's the finish of this part tonight, and starting from tomorrow we're going to look at some transfers. They're not going to be big transfers. I'm going to be looking at breakthrough prospects and future prospects, but we're not going to try and get anybody in the club that wants silly money for wages. We want to get the bill down as it stands. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow for part 4. But thanks for watching this. I'll catch up with you then. Thanks a lot.